don't know why. Oh, wow.
That,
Hey, on YouTube, it just goes live. There's no like questions. So we're live right now,
there's
by the way. I wasn't expecting that. I guess music? I don't know.
As I'm trying to go to our page as we speak.
I know. I think I'm going to update some of that. Oh, wow. That's kind of cool, actually. This is the first time we're going live on YouTube. We're just trying it out today. And usually when I go live through OBS on Facebook, they ask a bunch of like questions like, what game are you playing? And write like a blurb and stuff. And on YouTube, I guess you just go live. So
I'm gonna ask you 40K questions today. You know why? Because we got a bunch of points and we didn't get everything else. We still don't have the mission packet, and we don't have the full FAQs. We have like baby FAQs.
yeah. Yeah, but I'm
They
pretty excited
basically
though.
said, here's ninth edition developer thoughts, and they were like, sometimes we have thoughts, and we're going to check back with us, and we'll have more thoughts.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was like, oh, cool.
It looks
cool
like
story, bro.
it looks like we're getting closer and closer to the actual release though. So I'm pretty pumped about that.
I'm super pumped. It's just that I, again, wish that, one, I'm pretty bummed about every single Forge World character I played getting just dismantled. One, Laios doesn't exist apparently. They just killed him because he had no real model in production. They just slit his throat behind him. And then old Luftguard Huron. Everybody else got like 5-point upgrades. He got a 25-point upgrade. I was just like, all right, well, fuck these guys.
Yeah, no. I've always been saying though that I think anything that GW is making that, for example, any rules that they have that they don't have models for should not be rules. So
I agree on that. That's the thing is that, but they don't just straight up say it. They've been like slowly but surely going, hey, guys, some stuff might go away, like, hey man, stop being passive aggressive with me and just tell me what's going on.
yeah. Yeah, I could not agree more. I absolutely hate the ego backdrop, so I'm going to get rid of it.
It is fading you in and out, and
I
it's
know.
fantastic. You need to get the red hot background, which is
It's
what I have.
so strange. I'm just going to get rid of it. It's gone now. Okay, back to normal.
It's all about the red hot.
The Red Hot, yeah. Well, I did send Red Hot an email on our sponsorship so they can evaluate. My camera's super blurry. There we go. So they can evaluate kind of what you do for them. All these independent channels here that you're running with Red Hot as a potential sponsor. A lot of money you're missing, man.
That's what I'm talking about, bro.
But yeah,
People need
we did get points. I think even when do you think the mission packet that comes out is going to be like the end all be all? Like it will be like everything that they run at events, or do you think? And I'm speaking specifically about like the Mike Brandt ITC run events.
I think it's gonna actually. I saw a lot of proposed shit, and I liked it a lot, and it had examples and stuff like that, which I thought were really really cool, of basically example rules, things, and stuff like that. It's almost like an FAQ in itself, and I think they're gonna balance out the secondaries. And the thing is, I'm super not worried about what happens immediately. For whatever reason, by the way, I know it's mostly probably because people are just getting angry because it's been taking forever to get this shit out. But the 40K community has been super toxic lately about just being super insane about Raw and bitching and this and that.
Yeah.
And I've been having a great time at Ninth. I don't understand it.
I just think you're participating more on the internet now, like than you've ever have in your entire life. And because of that, you're hearing basically what actually happens on the internet, and you've been in the closet this whole time on most of the stuff. But people talk a lot of crap on the internet, man. That's where most of the toxicity of our
I guess
because like anybody that hasn't gone to a tournament or doesn't know about 40K tournaments, they're the best. Everyone's really cool at the tournament. Even people you don't really like. Like there's a handful of people I really despise and I don't like at all. But when I'm at the event, I'll talk to them. I'll smile. I'll make jokes. Sometimes I'll make fun of them too in front of them. But overall, it's like a fun time. It's not really like as anywhere near. It's nowhere near the toxicity you see on the internet.
Yeah, it's just, I mean, if I didn't go to a ton of tournaments, I would literally never go to a tournament.
Yeah, never go to a tournament. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I think what you're
so
talking
fucking
about, though,
mean.
the toxicity you're talking about is like all the guys who are trying to like break the rules to just be obnoxious. Like, well, that's
They're
what the
just
rule
being
says.
dicks about it. This is the
Yeah.
thing, is they're not even trying to be like, hey, Alan, you know what? I think that this might be an issue. What do you guys think about rule? They're like, oh my God, this is bullshit. Why would they put this out? You're like, fucking settle down. You know what I mean? Like, literally get your shit together.
Yeah,
Like-
yeah. No, yeah, that's been happening forever, man. That's always been the game. Daka Daka was a cesspool for that, and AWS forums, all the forums in the old days that Brad, you had no knowledge of how to get to or where they existed or the ability.
Because I would
to read.
literally be fucking dueling people old school. Like, because people would be talking shit and I'd be challenging people to fights all the time.
So funny.
If I knew all this shit was happening.
Yeah,
Ants.
no, it's pretty common stuff. But yeah, no, I'm excited. I looked over a lot of the points actually. Some of them I can't explain, like fire dragons. I have zero explanation for fire dragons.
Dude, you want to talk about explanation, dude? How sad are you right now if you're a Dark Eldar player and your 3 shitty troops all got a 3-point increase? Yeah. You're just like, why?
Yeah,
they
there's
were so
no reason.
bad already.
There's no reason. Yeah, it
You're
doesn't
like, hey
make
man,
any sense.
remember when
at
your
all.
troops sucked? Well, how about now?
Yeah, they suck. They still suck, and they cost more. Yeah, some of the points increases are crazy. I'm gonna miss the shock attack on. I did hear rumors, rumor mill that the Vigilus detachments will be gone for competitive play anyways. So I thought maybe the crazy shock attack on might
I
be
haven't
gone.
even been playing with it as far as the things I've been looking at though. I was just talking to Root today about orcs,
Yeah.
and I really really like 2 units of 10 because they're power level 8 apiece if you do 10s. So you can take them and just as 2 CP and do reserve both of them.
2 units of 10 what?
I'm sorry, tank busters.
Oh, tank busters.
And then
okay.
I like literally 2 units of tank busters, 2 units of mega knobs because their points are sweet.
Yep.
And 2 units of 10, and I like 2 units of boys, shooter boys actually, because I like to have the ability to, depending on what I'm playing and what the board is, either reserve one, and I like one definitely to be able to jump, so I can shoot, because you want something to be able to take out hordes.
Yeah.
And shooter boys are actually amazing for that, because you just go, shoot twice, shoot a million times. The question is, do you do a battalion and a patrol so you can get 2 different cultures, because you want Death Skulls and you want Bad Moons, you know what I mean?
Yep. Yeah, that's the biggest problem with orcs. I think that's the number one most philosophical change to 9th edition is the concept of building your army now is really going to benefit the codexes and factions that could just be a mono build. If you had a good army in 8th or a decent army in 8th that was a single type of faction, allegiance, whatever you want to call it, you really have, I think, an advantage out of the park with 9th because you're able to get kind of what you need and keep the CP really high for yourself. So Sisters and Orcs, 2 of my favorite armies that I was playing towards the end of 8th, both require a mixture of faction types or order, clan for Orcs. So like you just said, Death Skulls and Bad Moons. It was very common to take a Death Skulls SAG shock attack on, and then like a Bad Moons detachment, and then maybe like a Speed Freaks Evil Sons detachment of boys, so they can get that charge right with an 8-inch charge instead of a 9. It's pretty common army. And same thing with Sisters, Bloody Rose and Valorous Heart. That's how most of those lists worked.
Sisters points also. I'm so ambivalent about that. I think Sisters are going to be fine. They're fine either way. I don't know whether Sisters are tier 1 or tier 2 right now, because I was saying forever that it's going to depend on points for Sisters, but I was like, if they go up 3 or 4, it's too much. They went up 2, and I'm like, is that most things went up 2 to 4 points? The base Sisters went up 2, and I don't know if that's enough to make them hurt. You know what I mean? To just take less bodies. No, but I don't think it's definitely not enough to ruin them. I just don't know if it's enough to make it so they're. I actually think that if we went into 9th edition with Sisters pointed exactly the same they were, that they actually were the best army in the game.
I would agree, yeah, for sure. I actually think that they have an inherent advantage over every other army in the game, given the fact that they have Miracle Dice. And Miracle Dice are essentially CPs that they don't pay for. So I think out of every single army in 40K, Sisters are the one army where taking a battalion or a patrol in addition to the one where your Warlord is in makes sense. And I think that they can do it and get away with it. I think a 9 CP army, is fine with Sisters, especially when you're getting the one every turn in addition to that. So you don't really have to even think about saving them. You'll have some late game as well. because they're strong even with a single CP. They have a lot of things they can do. That's really cool. But no, I actually think sisters are fine. I think the points increases were not a big deal. I think taking a Valorous Heart and a Bloody Rose, two battalions even, isn't a bad idea. I think it's still a solid idea. I think Seraphim did get hit a little hard. Zephyrim also got hit a little hard. The points increases are a little more than I thought was going to happen, especially with those big units. And blast weapons do certainly hurt them because you're usually taking 10-man squads so that you can get the most out of the investment. But I would argue that Seraphim really are built for a 9th edition game. They're built to come in, threaten your opponent's objective, get them off of it, make your opponent deal with the unit however they can, right? And give you that advantage, give you that hold more.
People aren't getting it. I've been coaching it up with people now that the 9th edition, the biggest changes as far as your strategy, you know what I mean, not as the rules wise, is the fact that units need to touch other units because of fallback, and units need to start trading to block objectives. It's no longer hiding. It's literally running up 10 Grots, 5 Marines, and touching that objective. And then also, man, like, dude, like things like the new Outrider bikes, for instance, they've got cool attacks and everything. But the biggest thing of those guys is anybody that can hit something, kill the screen, and touch something. If I touch your Leviathan Dreadnought and you have to shoot 3 bikes next turn,
sucks.
Yeah. So yeah, that's a huge win. If they do 0, if Death Company with their pregame move, I go first, I kill a screen and I touch your army and I do absolutely nothing to anybody. Kill 0 wounds, but I touch your whole army and you don't move and or take any objectives for the next turn, and you and I are playing and you go up 15-5 on me, you know, right away. If they get me 10 points in progressive, dude, that's crazy good. You know what I mean? That's I would literally say Death Company does 0 wounds, but I get 10 points every single time. You know what I mean? That's just crazy. But I think people don't get that right away. When I'm talking to people, everybody's mind's still in ITC, so they think ITC tactics, and you're like, no, man, it's a different game now.
Yeah, it's totally different. And even with the blast weapons, people are over exaggerating what they're going to do to the game. I've been talking to people too, and I've been saying 30 orcs are still in every orc army I make for at a minimum. One 30-man unit, because if I get first turn and I had to jump that unit in front of you and charge you and hold your whole army up and you spend the CP to even overwatch me with 1 unit, I don't care. I don't care at all. I don't care if they don't do anything. If they just literally engage a couple of units and hold a couple of units where I want them to hold, or hold a flank where I want them to hold, and I'm able to get the advantage and get one more objective than you that turn, I get the extra 5 points. That's enough for me. Like, that's enough for that unit. Yeah, and you have to deal with them. And then you also have to realize that your army is smaller, right? Your army is smaller. So the odds that you're going to kill 30 boys is less than it was before. Can you do it? Sure. Tons of armies can do it. But have you ever not killed the full unit? Because I'll bring them back. And things get really bad then. Like,
and do it again.
Yeah, I'll bring them back. And when I bring them back, I'll bring them back from my board edge, and then I'll just jump them at you again. Exactly. It's exactly what I'll do.
It's so crazy on that, because so many people don't understand that there's an art now to when you're trading and when you're holding things and stuff like that. And there's lots of armies that can just do can do a lot of that. And I think those blast weapon dudes, I don't know why people are gloom and doom on that shit, because you should, I encourage all top players that I'm going to play, bring a shit ton of blast weapons so that I can just touch your army. And you can do
I don't think that's the right play at all. I think you need to go with less blast weapons. You know, the fact that smash guns are blast kind of annoys me, because if they get charged and they live, I can't shoot, and I can't do anything if I leave. So I'm totally screwed if they charge a unit of smash guns. So it's kind of scary now for mech guns. I was under the impression, you know, before I saw the blast template, that, oh my God, you know, mech guns are going to shoot in combat. Good luck charging them, right? Like, I'm going to stand still. I'm going to hit you on 4s. I'm going to do some damage, even if, like, before it was nothing, right? Now it's something, but because they're blast, you know, they're not getting anything there. But I think hiding, using the terrain, you know, if you have a 5-inch piece of terrain, they're not shooting through it. So you're just chilling behind that piece of terrain, and that's going to be on a lot of boards. I mean, you're going to have the ability to really hide much easier than you've ever hid before in the past. And
dudes get -1 to hit deal. And getting the cover save, dude. Yeah. You saw the rules on that for a ton of guys is, if you're somebody that used to just get +1 save, now you're getting at least +1, at least 1 cover save from things that don't even give light cover. So you could literally be getting -1 to hit and
And
+1 cover save.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same time. So there's just a lot of little things like that I think once you start playing it on the board, you get to realize, you know, the actual how it actually plays, and you're like, oh wow, I wasn't expecting that. And you know, I played a couple games now, and the orc game I played against Aaron was really eye opening for me. That I think that unit is still very, very functional because it has an offensive capability in the game that I can't discredit that just because blast weapons will shred it. I don't care. It doesn't matter. I'll still play it, you know, and it has a lot of. I actually, when I used to go to tournaments, I used to go to restaurants and meet a waitress or someone. They'd be like, "What are you guys doing in town?" You know, Brad, we've done this a million times.
Oh,
We're like, oh, we play a game. Sometimes you say we play a game. I don't know. I don't think you've ever done that. I think you always make up some crazy story about motorcycles or something. So I'll usually go with like, oh, we play a game. It's like chess. I'll usually say that, and just to keep, you know, just to not confuse people, I'm like, oh, it's like chess. You know, I think this edition of Ninth is going to be the most like chess we've ever had because it's going to be a game where you set up trades. You put a pawn out there knowing that they're going to take that pawn, but you're going to take whatever they took you with, and then you're going to take that. And it's just like a game of like repetitive, and whoever has that last I take and I don't get taken will always come out with the advantage. So you need to build a list that does that.
I love it, and I also think that you get rewarded even if your dice. I mean, obviously, if your dice go completely ones, but if your dice even are below average, you get rewarded for superior movement, even if when there's no dice included on it. You're refusing objectives. You're grabbing your opponent. You're basically forcing your opponent who he can shoot at and stuff like that.
Yeah,
those are all just huge rewards for basically having better movement than your opponent.
Oh yeah,
no dice required.
Yeah, that's actually some of the stuff I'm looking at now. Like historically, in eighth, I've been playing a couple armies only. I haven't really gone to too many tournaments, but I'll start going to more in ninth hopefully here. And what I'm looking at doing is trying to like really think outside the box, look at movement as one of the biggest things in designing a list, and trying to do things that people aren't expecting, right? Like everyone right now is like, oh, wrapping doesn't exist. Big units don't exist. You know, blast kills big units and wrapping is dead because of the strat. And I'm thinking, man, how do I make a fast army with big units that engage a target and don't let them leave? And I'm just coming up with ideas here and there, you know, and looking at things. I've been looking at Slaanesh really closely. You know, Seeker Rush.
Plus strike
always strike first.
So big.
Yes, always strike first. I have the ability to lock things down within Contorted Epitome. I have a lot of really interesting tricks, and guess what? The board is smaller, so even flanking with the unit of Seekers is gross, like just destruction. So I think there's a lot of really cool lists that I think we haven't seen in a long time. That are potentially good. And what I'm really looking for out of a list is something that's fun, but also something that people, you know, necessarily aren't building against. And really it's going to kind of shake things up. They're going to see it and they're going to go, wow, well, this does all the things that I wasn't planning for in ninth, right? That's kind of what I'm looking for in a list.
Dude, here's a couple. Well, first off, I'm going to do a bitch and then I'm going to ask you a question because of the points. One, why did Basilisk go up 5 points and Night Spinners go up 35. My Eldar heart is beating slowly right now.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just my regular heart. That seems brutal. That's just a complaint. But Knights did not get very much of a beat stick put on them.
No,
and
they didn't.
Does that make... I feel like I didn't think Knights were going to be that competitive, but Knights basically lost nothing, basically. Your list is almost exactly the same.
Yeah.
And everybody else lost like a lot, you know, just units. Do you think that they become more viable? I mean, I think people are going to be bringing more hard targets in the beginning. But like as the future, basically as the meta, you know, adjusts itself and people aren't taking all mech, so everybody isn't taking all counter mech, do they come back because they are so much better point-wise?
I mean, yeah, I definitely think they do. I still think Knights will always remain a mid-tier bully at tournaments. I always do believe that Knights will be played by a predominantly people who are, you know, going, you know, 3-2, 4-1, maybe at the best at major events. And I think that they'll really be the gatekeepers that will separate some of the top 10% of players out of everyone else, you know, that's got 3-0 going into the fourth round. So that's really kind of where I put Knights at. always historically, and I don't think that necessarily changes. I think the reasons why GW didn't increase their points is they didn't really benefit from any of the new rules, right? Terrain doesn't impact them whatsoever. So it's not like they're getting...
I think it's worse for them. Well, it changes a little bit because of the fact the 5-inch up makes it a lot easier for thing. By the way, we did change the format, Gary. I do agree. I think Alan and I are on the same page on the fact that, like he was saying, that they have issues with the mission and mission format in general.
Yeah.
And that's probably why I agree on that. But I think we're both on the same page that Knights did get a little bit better, but like you were saying, Alan, they probably are still the gatekeeper army.
Yeah, and like the terrain doesn't do anything for them, right? They have more than 18 wounds, so they're not going to be impacted by the terrain. The other armies are, right? So it's going to be easier to hide from them than it was in the past. So I think that's a big deal. Obviously the board being smaller is better for them, I would say. They have the ability to cover more ground quickly. So I think that's better.
Depends on the terrain, though, man, because if the terrain's really cluttered with lots of
we're assuming that they keep the terrain far enough so that they can get around. I mean, they have a sufficient amount of movement with the board. I think not the 44. The 44 is like, okay, that's good, but the 72 to 60, that's a really big change for them. So when you historically had a knight in the bottom right hand corner, and let's say you cleared it out in turn 3, it was still never going to impact the game drastically on the other side, minus its long range weaponry. But now it could really get across the board relatively simple in a couple turns. So I think that's actually like a real big change for them.
Not after I take those tank traps. Can I still get tank traps? Is there some fortification that leaves me that? I feel like it is somewhere.
Yeah, tank traps were awesome. You just literally shut down an avenue. Like, oh, I want to walk through here. No, you don't. So I think
they can walk over shit now, Corey. They actually gave them a little bit more of a buff. That's one of the things we didn't talk about. They can just walk over bikes and shit now.
Yeah.
Which is a bigger deal, but I still think I disagree with Alan on that. I mean, I agree completely with what Alan said and what you guys said. I think that they're going to be good. They're going to high roll a couple people and spoil someone's tournament, but I don't think they're going to be the guys that win.
Yeah, and I don't necessarily consider Knights a fun spoiler army. I think they're a normal spoiler army. It's not like you played against 30 Seekers from Slaanesh and
it's not wacky.
Yeah,
it's just going to be the time when you got a super open board. They went first. They shot and assaulted away.
Yes, correct. Yeah. I mean, design armies that can still kill them. Even though you have the points increases, you still have to figure out a way how you're going to take out Knights. And I think that's going to be a really important thing. And I think for Orcs, they're going to super struggle with that, considering that, 1, the shock attack gun is now 1,000,000 points, and 2, there are whispers that special detachments are gone, so they might not even have the special attack shotgun.
Double tank buster, yo! Double tank buster.
Double tank buster may be what they need to do to kill a Knight, man.
Double tank buster, double mega knob.
It's going to be tough, man. Double tank buster, double mega knobs.
Ooh,
get it, bro. Get it. Get in there. Flash kits got murdered in the points increase.
Like, why?
Like they were like, we don't intend to sell these models, so let's ensure that they never get sold. A couple of these units
just got so beat to shit.
Oh, dude, I was so sad when I saw Flash kits points. I was like,
the Hive Guard, dude, just ow.
Yeah,
Tyranids
in general. Yeah, Tyranids in general just took a whooping.
Remember when I was like, man,
I felt bad for them.
Maybe Nidzilla's making a comeback, and they were like, no.
I wonder if we're gonna see really just diverse kooky lists, people who kind of come up with the idea of taking a battalion that you really haven't seen in the past and just maximizing it. Something that I was thinking about was a Scion battalion. I've never seen one before, but what if you just took an entire army of Scions?
One of the guys I talk to all the time, from the one guy that pops in, he's from Vienna, Austria. He took his Custodes, and literally he's a Custodes player, super excited, obviously, because Custodes made a big jump, but he's just taken all Scions with him. He basically takes Custodes, and then he just fills them out with all Scion, the regular.
I actually think it's a great idea. I think it's a great idea. That's what I was telling Tony Malave. I'm like, hey, take 6 Toroxes full of dudes, just start playing.
I think that people are gonna once people realize that anything that's OBSEC is a big deal, and if you could keep trading over and over again, dude, you can get your head kicked in. But if they never get to take the objectives,
it doesn't matter.
Still win.
Yeah, you still win. Yeah. And there's so many secondary objectives that you can just literally like game towards. Like there's a bunch of secondary objectives that you just have to give up the points in your army to do them. Like I'm going to take this unit, they're going to raise a banner in the back, and they're not going to do anything else.
Yeah, I mean, dude, and you could it's so crazy. Like,
or I'm going to take a psyker and pass this warp charge 4 power 3 times. Done.
Oh, well, like I told you, with a lot of the original lists we made, Sigs made like basically more powerful armies than me, but I just kept running up idiots to touch objectives and deny them, and then he would just murder them, and I do it again and again. Yeah.
Yeah, and you can do that, and you could do that with knights pretty easy, right? I can literally make a truck boys army, and I'll just be like, objective taken, objective taken, objective taken.
Yeah.
And they're just going to be like, I'm killing everything on this board, and I can't win the game.
Yeah, Nurglings were untouched. Death Guard does look really good, dude. I actually think that GW nerfed points on Death Guard units.
Get your phone off your desk. It's killing my ears.
I did. It's supposed to be on silent.
Just put it near your vagina.
But Death Guard got the units that I thought were trap units anyways, because I think that Death Guard, an infantry Death Guard army with the new buffs they have, is insanity.
Oh yeah. The Psychic Awakening was extremely friendly.
Yeah, that was a nuts list, by the way.
Which list was that?
He's saying the Nick Rose's 18, the Billy, when he played two seasons ago, when he took all the little bugs.
Oh yeah, that list was stupid. That was a very good list. It's probably like 7,000 points now, but yeah, it's a good list.
Exactly, dude. They got hit pretty fucking hard. Dark Elder just got kicked. Their troop choices specifically got kicked. Yeah. Craft World just pissed on. Like I said,
that was bad.
I'm still annoyed at a 35-point increase for Night Spinners and a 5-point increase for Basilisk. Yeah, those seem fair because everyone knows that the Night Spinner cannon is way more powerful than the Earthshaker cannon.
I don't get that either. Actually, I can't believe that they sold more Night Spinners than Basilisks. It's kind of weird because there's some sick strategies. Cadian strats with Basilisk are freaking amazing, like Aerial Spotter, and there's like another one too that's really good.
You're rerolling everything. You're getting max hits.
Super
you're doing
good. And now with Psychic Awakening was actually really good for guard too. By the way, they have a lot of really good stuff they can take too. So, but I think I think Death Guard for sure. Psychic Awakening was great, and they're going to be very strong. They might be a strong counter to Necrons. I just have this feeling. I don't know. I could be wrong, but I think Necrons are going to drop. I know you can't say anything right now, Brad, but I think Necrons are going to drop, and they're going to be like wicked. So I'm excited for that.
Actually, I do like. I was about to say the Gaunt list is not that bad. I could see that, but I just think that I really wanted the big creatures to be good, and they really got spanked.
Yeah.
Yeah, just it hurts. And the Scorpions only went up 21 points, I think. Right? That's right on that. I got to make sure. But it's weird because some of the artillery just got raffle stomped, destroyed in points, and then other stuff barely got touched. And then some units just got kicked. I love that Eradicators, which are probably the best new unit of Marines, coming out of that box, came out, and then Fire Dragons got an even bigger point increase.
Fire Dragons got neutered.
Just like, why? Yeah, why they're so bad comparatively?
And the Marines, the Marines are so much better.
They're literally so far away too. Not only are they better in every way, better toughness, 3 wounds, but they also have double their range.
Yeah, they're just better in every possible way, which is just I don't understand why they would do that. But Fire Dragons got rolled.
Yeah, they got left on the side of the road. The other armies were like, "Hey man, go check and see if that tire's flat, would you?" Just drove away.
Yeah, I really do still think though that we'll see some crazy battalions of or brigades even. I think Guard might have brigades just because it's hard to spend the points sometimes in a single detachment in Guard.
I mean, dude, I think that you're going to see some sick. I actually do that, and the thing is I've actually been really liking playing some of the pure armies. I've been making pure Salamander armies and pure White Scars armies, but I've also if you said in the beginning of 2020, Brad, you're going to start making pure Harlequin detachments, I would have been like, you're on some sort of drugs that I don't know what they are, but stop taking.
Yeah, no, but people are. I don't know about pure Harlequin. I still think Dark Eldar and Harlequin might be the way to go. But
It's pretty strong on that with everything you have.
yeah,
My lovely, lovely lady just came up with a wine bottle and a wine opener.
fantastic.
Can you fire that up for me?
Fantastic.
That's why I brought you the corkscrew.
Yeah, I'm a
You
little
can open
busy
it
now,
yourself.
baby.
I mean, what? You can't open it yourself?
I mean, it would be better. It tastes better if you open it.
Oh my god, you're fucking retarded.
This is why we always have an NC-17 rating.
I
Brittany
gotta figure
exists.
out where my ha is. I don't know where it is. Is it this one? I got it.
If it's not Imperium, it's not worth playing.
I'll be more
GW's
on
model. I'm not gonna lie, dudes. Imperium in the last year has gotten a lot of happiness.
What are you doing on the desk? Are you like rolling your fingers or something? Like playing a piano?
She's opening a bottle of wine,
Oh my god.
and I'm also shaking because that's what I do.
There's so much noise right
So
now.
I will back it up real quick.
Oh my god. There's a lot of crying going on.
The
right
most noise I've ever heard in my life.
It's not. It won't be the most noise anymore. It's just going to be the
Heinrich in here.
smooth jams.
Frank, you know, I'm old and I'm playing, so how I'm going to think at the same time is very.
Dude, I love that soundbite. I also miss Henrik a lot. So
Same. So I don't know what else you wanted to talk through. I think the points are interesting. I did get I'm getting one of those boxes, so the boxes seem like a really good deal actually.
you know what I think?
Necrons and Marines.
We should find people that are willing to swap. Like maybe I don't know the Necrons for the Marines. That seems like a really good trade.
I already found those people. Tony Malave.
You get out of here. It's me.
No, it's not. I'm giving Malave my Space Marines. He's giving me his
You
Necrons.
already said you were going to do that for me. Literally 2 days ago.
I can buy a third one. I don't know. When did I
Oh
say
my
this?
God.
I didn't say this. This is a lie.
literally
It's all a lie.
were
Show me
talking
on
about-
camera. Show
We
me
got
on
you
camera.
taped because
It's all a
you
lie.
were on my stream, literally talking on Discord without. Maybe you were just only talking to Malave, and
I was talking to
We
Malave,
thought
yeah.
you were talking to me.
Yeah, no, I was talking. You muted me because I was clearly not talking to you. So
But,
gotta get my boy
now,
Malave's Marines, bro.
I refused to not let you make you answer my question the other day, the one that you yelled at me about.
Oh, which one was it? We don't have the speeds on today, so I can talk 40K.
Love it. What after you saw the points? Who are the biggest winners and who got the biggest kick in the cock?
I think Custodes, Harlequins. I still think Sisters are good. I don't think they got hurt too badly. And I'm taking into consideration what miracle dice mean to the game. I think those three are pretty solid. Who am I missing? I feel like I'm missing someone. Necron Immortals got destroyed. Did you see them? Like they would never be taken ever in any situation. Like you would always take warriors.
I'm not worried about a lot of this shit because we know that we're getting a Kron's
That's
Codex
true.
like
That's true.
in a day.
I'm assuming that the points here are very similar to the Kron's Codex, right? That what are the odds that these points and the Kron's Codex points are different? You think they're actually
Probably. Well, since these points were probably made like a zillion years ago before the.
I bet you the Kron's points were made at the same time, right? No, you don't think so?
Not really. A lot of this
All
stuff's like so because you got to remember that this was everyone that was worked on. This was worked on, and then those were worked on more when they focused on individual factions again.
Okay, well maybe they fix it for Crowns. I don't know. They nuked Immortals, but I would say Custodes got definitely an increase.
Huge.
Yeah, huge power boost for them because they're a functioning army. I actually don't think Guard got hurt very bad at all. I think Guard are fine. Harlequins are fine, and I would put Sisters in that group too. And then I think Marines are actually fine as well. I think Marines, some things got hit really hard and other things didn't, right? So you just got to kind of like shift the way you play, really. It's not, and we know a Marine Codex is coming out too, so I mean that's probably going to help there too. So I don't think Marines got hit hard either. So I think those are the big winners. Big losers are definitely like NIDS. I think AdMech got kind of hit a little hard too.
See, I think certain units got hit, but I think AdMech is insanity. I still think they're going to be overlords of AdMech.
The most popular units got hit pretty hard though for AdMech.
Yeah, but there's so much new shit, and so many units got made good in their PA that I think it's not going to matter.
That's true. I think Orcs got hit really hard.
Nice. Nid's Tau and Eldar is good as a bad porn star right now.
Yeah. It's Tau and Eldar. Yeah, Tau got hit really bad too, actually. Yeah.
The robots didn't actually get a hit up that much. You knew they were going to get a hit up because of the fact that they actually just can't be grabbed now. But I think the robots are terrifying because the whole point is you used to be able to just touch them and they couldn't do anything. Now you can touch them.
They can just shoot
and
you.
You're gonna, yeah, and they'll take. I don't know if anybody can.
1 million shots.
Yeah, I don't think there's a unit in the game that can take them double firing at you. You know what I mean? That's just crazy.
Yeah, I heard when they're engaged they don't move, so could be bad.
Yeah, exactly.
Just saying.
I
don't know.
I think that Dark Eldar basically got like extra relegated to an Outrider or a Spearhead or something that you take.
I think you take a Harlequin. I think you take a Harlequin battalion. You get it for free.
Oh, 100%.
And then you take a Dark Eldar detachment in addition, but just not a battalion.
I don't think you. The only things I can think right now, I literally think that Harlequins are the Grandmaster of Eldar. You take Harlequins and then you dip into something else. You take like 3 units of spears, and that's it. And then or you take 3 units of Talos or something, and that's the thing is that you're not taking. Yeah, actually, that's what the list I like is right now.
That's the list I like.
But
Talos are really good.
But I don't think either one of those are going to be legit armies anymore. Their points got so bad, just dumpstered.
No, they're not. I don't think it's like a game winner army, but I do think like certain people who are pretty good with Eldar will come together and like cherry pick all those good units somehow and put them together in a way that works. I do think that it's possible. But I think before we saw points, I was thinking that the way that 9th looked, Eldar would have a massive advantage because of all the movements they have. But now after seeing points, I'm thinking, man, they got hit. They got hit pretty hard.
You know what I'm taking a ton of?
There's just
unpopular opinion, Death Company.
Oh, Death Company.
Minimum one big unit, man. Those guys with their pregame move is nuts. But they also didn't get shit for. They didn't get hardly hit at all. They're 21 points.
Yeah. No, I still think they're good. Yeah. Blood Angels in general though did go up a little bit. Overall, not just Death Company, but the rest of it went up a lot.
You know, it went down like a lot, and I actually thought about it. The Inferno Pistol actually went down 4 points. So the Sanguinary Guard went up 4 points, and then like another point for their axe. But then the Inferno Pistol, if you want to take it, I actually thought about bringing a 5-man squad that has all Inferno Pistols. As almost like a Seraphim type squad.
Yep. Too bad they don't have Miracle Dice, but yeah. Sounds good.
Kurt, I didn't test Mech CSM hardly at all with Demon Engines, but I really, really want Mauler Fiends to be awesome in this smaller board because I own Mauler Fiends and I haven't got to play them in like 10 years. And
I hope they're good.
And Demon Forge Strat is nuts. So, but I think it's actually the problem is without the reroll anymore, especially in units that blow up on 5s. Nailed them to Kurt will play them. But things that blow up on 5s and shit like that without the reroll, man, you better be being very aggressive with them. Oh, Corey ordered 3 Defilers. I do think that I think that the Demon Forge is going to be it's a real deal, man. I think that literally things like Defilers, Mauler Fiends, those things that weren't really playable before might be playable now because of the fact that 2 things: smaller board, and because of the progressive objectives, you have to move up and engage. So that's gets you that much closer, that much quicker.
Yeah, but just remember that the specialist detachment may not be in competitive play. So if you're thinking about that army, don't necessarily think that you'll have that specialist detachment.
I'm thinking more like just taking a couple of them and just running up and using the strat every turn.
No, playing the Lord of Skulls, I absolutely love those. That strat. That strat was amazing. So I used it all the time. And then the Alpha Legion ability to make things blow up better. That was even better. So. Big fan. I think Defiler's coming back would be awesome. I haven't seen a Defiler in a long time. I haven't seen a Defiler in a while. Or a Soul Grinder. Last time I saw a Soul Grinder was when Nick Brown used to play Field of Pain on him for like a whole year.
For an entire season.
every tournament he went to. And 0 people cared. So it's pretty funny. No, I think Demon Engine's definitely could have a good play, but I think you still need a core. I can see an army that has like a Demon Engine component that rushes forward and like just tries to harass, but then you need something in the back that's
Death Guard
kind of holding. Death Guard could work. Just
literally take Death Guard and a bunch of vehicles that run up. Dude, Death Guard is going to be so hard to get off objectives right now, man. With all the new shit they get with War of the Spider, so much stuff came in that made them super strong. And they were already pretty good anyways. And if you just push a bunch of engines up in front of people, and especially since they have the strat, the auto blow shit up. They start taking D6 mortals all over the place for everybody. While you have really good Death Guard, I think that that there's lots of good. I'm really excited. I've said that for a while that I think the meta is going to be pretty wide open, but you're going to need to take a versatile army. I think that if you try to guess, and I'm going to counter all Mac, I'm going to counter all Horde, I'm going to counter whatever. I think you're not going to be able to go through whole tournaments. You're going to have to be very versatile.
Yeah. Well, I'm not super looking forward to Death Guard. I have no interest in playing them, so I'm gonna be sad if they're like really the bee's knees, because I've never really been into Death Guard. I don't know, like just the fluff wise.
Kurt's like on the Blitz. The Blitz just never seem to. They seem good, but they don't seem good for their points.
They're good on paper. I've never felt good with the Blitz on the table ever in the current edition. Well, in 8th, I guess.
Over meta. Also, they got pretty racked, did they not? Obliterators went up 10 points, right? Plus their gun. Did their gun get fucked?
I don't know. I'll look it up right now. I didn't bother to look them up. I actually didn't look up much in Chaos. I looked up the Lord of Skulls.
And then you like stopped at that point in time. You're just like, I'm out.
Yeah, I'm out. I'm done. Bye. I can't take my crazy armies anymore. Very sad.
Flesh metal guns. They're still 0. Yeah, they just went up 10 points.
10 points is not that bad.
115? What was their? Oh, they have a power fist.
Boo. So many points.
Yeah.
Chester just goes, yeah, I'm done.
Yeah. No. Mic drop out.
Yeah.
Yeah. 20 Gene Steals equal 300 points. Dude, sorry, Tyranids.
Seems bad. Seems very bad.
Yeah, just sorry. And the fact that you've got a terrible save also. Hope you're rolling a lot of 5s, because yeah.
Brad, do you have any word on what they're going to do with Forge World? Are they going to roll it in? Are they going to make a book for it? Or have they announced anything that you know of?
The guys have been adding with the sheet. Have actually been doing more Forge World points than I've seen before. But you're just not going to be able to, you're not going to be able to use anything that they're not putting a model out for. They're going to have that as part of the points.
Okay.
Yeah, it just looks at points. Yes, exactly, Kurt. Dire Avengers do cost now more than a Battle Sister, because literally if you're not Harlequins, you got Chuck Norris kicked in the face with your points. You got the full Roadhouse even. Roadhouse. It was not pretty.
Great movie.
Ooh, dude. So there's a couple that I think are just like, ugh. I'm actually really looking forward to seeing if Custodes players come out and do some serious shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Chaos Guard are dead. I knew about that already. Basically anything they weren't putting out any models for is just dead now.
I'm gonna miss Rough Riders. I wonder if Rough Riders fully die or if they bring them back.
They can't, because DMX will bring them back, yo. That's a real thing. Everybody knows it. Can't bring them back. Or can't keep them away. Rough Riders.
Where's my button? Oh my god, that's good.
Here's a question. You've got most of this shit. Do you think an IG army with a mass of guys and just a zillion artillery tanks could work?
I don't know how many you can really get in. They really increased the points on like Lehman Russes and
but I'm not talking about. I'm just talking about just bringing. Let's go to Astramatom real quick.
Yeah.
Hold me a second, but like I'm talking about just slamming down. Like Basilisk went from. I'm gonna scroll up here.
Basilisk went up by
like almost nothing.
10 points. 10 points to Basilisk. They went up.
Yeah. I mean, they're $110 for a Basilisk.
Yeah, but if they're touched, they can't fire. I really don't know how much damage output they really put in. But yeah, you're right. If units do go to MSU and they get smaller, Basilisks will shine more because they're good at that. They're good at killing MSU units for sure. So
Chimera went up 5 points.
Yeah. Torox Prime. Torox Prime only went up 5 points.
Yeah. The Wyverns went up 15. The Manticore only went up 5. That's what I'm saying. Like points. I'd like to have Basilisk Manticores in my list just with a bunch of dudes just pushing up and taking all the objectives.
Yeah, I think the Mana Core is definitely interesting with only 5-point increase.
Yeah, exactly. IG parking lot. As I'm saying, but like if I take a bunch of idiot guard units because we don't no longer have to worry about kill more type shit, you know what I mean? And you just keep running all these 10-man guard units up that are OBSEC, and then you're just bombing people with Basilisks and Mana Cores and shit like that. It feels like, obviously you can put some other shit in there. Hell, you can put Scions or you can put anything in there.
Yeah.
But it just feels like you have like lots of options as far as being able to just pummel people. And the thing is that you could snipe characters so amazingly good though with the new Lookout Sir. Hell, with all that artillery, you're basically just if they are trying to protect him, you kill whatever's next to him, and then just mow him down.
Yeah, I think also the fact that they can just move so much across the board just gives them even more of an advantage in ninth, because really an infantry squad can get almost anywhere with run. It's like they can get very far.
And then you just basically go, hey, you're taking, dude, if you can get super far back into your opponent's deployment, like if you can make them start the turn, like you go second and then just run all your guard up, contest all of their objectives and give them a nice big goose egg on first turn, that's like almost a guaranteed win. You know what I mean? If you're just shutting them off on the turn.
Yeah, I don't, because they score turn 2, I don't think it'll happen. I think they'll move up, they'll charge the front screen, they'll kill it, they'll be on objectives with the charge move plus their move, and then they'll just neuter everything in the middle. I just feel like they die too easy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but you can keep sending them though. That's the thing is, you send them a little bit at a time.
Yeah. I think actually if you sent them on the bottom of one, it would be more effective, but then they'd have to survive the top of one, which would be hard if your opponent kind of understood what you were trying to do. But yeah, no, I totally get what you're saying. You'd have to get that initial move in correct, and I think that's kind of really where they'll struggle, because they die so easily that it's hard. It's going to be hard for you to contest it for a full turn. That's kind of that's what you have to do.
You know who didn't get any points increased? Bullgrins.
Oh yeah, Bullgrins did not get an increase. That's true.
Sorry, 1 point.
Or is it Ogrins? Was it Ogrins? I think Ogrins got no point increase.
Bullgrins got a 1 point, and then Ogrins got actually 0.
Yep.
So I think that they're great, just sit in the middle kind of unit. I actually think I think you're 100% right on the IG. I think people have just been really not talking about them for some reason, but I think that they're in a good spot too. They got a lot of options.
I would assume that Brandon Grant's very excited with IG. I think they're definitely a winner out of the whole thing. I think that there's some really cool stuff that you're going to be able to do with them that I don't think people have done in the past. And I do think Tempest Scions, I think, are going to come back hard. I think the fact that you can no longer just touch a Torox Prime and laugh is going to be hilarious. You're going to eat the 28 shots that come out of it. So I don't know, man. I really think that the Torox Prime game and Scions is going to be a big deal.
Kurt's got a point on this. I didn't look into building lists out with it, but he was like the Dark Angel stuff didn't really get very much point increase, and a couple things actually went down in points. So I don't know. I haven't played with them that much, to tell you the truth. And what I used to take in Dark Angels was the Supreme Command, which doesn't exist anymore really. So, but yeah, that could definitely be another thing. Obviously, they took their aircraft and just stuffed them into a box, but.
Yeah, no, I've always felt Dark Angels though are a great MSU army in general, right? They're always an army that is designed to, have negatives to hit stuff, have the ability to move around really fast, have a pretty strong hitting force. I haven't looked at the points changes for them yet. I can definitely pull that up. I'm sure if there's something here though.
Go ahead, sorry.
I was just gonna say I'm sure if there's something here, Nick Rose will be shouting out to me and you about it for sure.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the Flamers went down a point, and then like their speeders didn't go up at all. So I was actually debating on whether double Flamer speeders would actually be a thing at 55 points, double Flamer. Just running around trying to harass people and stuff. You know what I mean? 2d6 it.
Yeah, it could be. It depends on the survivability too, right? I mean, being able to harass a flank or a side is going to be fundamental. Being able to harass and stay on the objective is going to be crucial. But then being able to survive and do those two things is going to be like where you actually win the game. That's going to be the biggest difference.
I agree a little bit on that, man. I do think Imperiums sit in a really good spot. Yeah, Kurt, that's what I'm saying, man. Like 55 points, you take a couple of those, they're just harassing. Because if other people are also taking MSU and you just consistently are shooting 2d6 flamer shots all over the place all the time, even in a hand. That's just irritating for your opponent, especially if he's got smaller units. But the weirdest thing is I'm going to take. Who do you guys think? Basically, who's the big dogs right now? LVO happens tomorrow with these points, with no new codexes. You know what I mean? Because we'd have to hope for the best. But with these points right now that we've seen, who's at the top table, the top 3 tables at LVO right now?
I think it's probably Marines. I think Marines will have the smallest learning curve. I think Marines are going to play very similar to the way they've been playing in the past. I mean, regular Space Marines here, I think like a Dark Angels army that Kurt's talking about, that's going to be a lot of finesse and knowing when to go in and when to go out and where to put models and stuff. I think, the traditional Iron Hands armies are still going to be doing well in the beginning. Like, let's say, hypothetically, the edition drops on the 25th, and let's just say for the sake of the question, LVO was a month later. Like that, because that's how I'm going to think about it right now. I'm not going to think about February. Who knows what's going to happen by then? I would say Necrons in February. I would think that regular Marine players are going to be able to change the quickest, I think, towards this. I think you're also going to see a lot of Harlequin combos with other Eldar that will be very, very good top tier contenders for some of the better named players. I think we can name those maybe 2 or 3 people on our hand that we know about, Brad. I'd say that they would do a really well job at converting their armies as well towards 9th. And then the last one I think is Guard. I think you'd see people like Brandon Grant come with a Guard list, or Nick Rose come back with an old school Guard list that made him kind of a player that's known in the community with the Leaf Blower list back in the old days. I think those are the 3 that I would put up there. And then as a spoiler army, I'd say me with Sisters probably coming in and filling up the back end, probably playing that. I think I would do really well with Sisters in 9th.
Kurt stole my thunder because I was about to say that. I think Death Guard are going to be in there. A properly done Death Guard army, for me, in my opinion, a properly done Death Guard army is one that focuses mainly on the strengths of their infantry with some mech to back them up. Basically get back up, auto blow up, and shit like that. Yeah, exactly, Kurt. Just denial and do nothing. I think they actually do what Iron Hands was trying to do, but I actually think they do it better because they have more options.
I think Death Guard is definitely a list that I don't know enough about it. I'm not really interested in the play style, so that's why I won't learn it. But I can see like Nick Brown playing it, or you, Brad, playing it. Because you guys tend to gravitate towards like the best possible list that requires the least amount of effort to play. I
have my double brimmed hat on, so whatever. I'm ready. I'm team bandwagon. Whatever's the best. Jumping on. Got my ticket right here.
No, I actually definitely could see a Death Guard army do it, just because the sheer number of mortal wounds and the resiliency. So I think the fact that they have such a resilient army and they have all these little tricks with the wounds, I can see them doing it. I just haven't. I don't know. I'm a little biased because I just haven't seen Chaos do well in so long. I would love for them to do well. I hate that it's Death Guard. I really want Khorne to be like, or Slaanesh, or anything really. Tzeentch, even.
To be honest,
Death Guard's my least favorite.
Those guys are going to be spoilers also, though, because the small board, Slaanesh advance and charge. You have the Fleshhounds advance and charge plus a 2-inch Toother charge.
Yeah,
I think there's units that literally can basically consistently make turn 1 charges and just hold your opponent and let you take everything.
Yeah, but you didn't ask for a spoiler. You asked who's at the top table. So spoiler-wise, you're right. Yeah, those could be spoilers. I just think of
those lists might actually start coming out, though, because you get things like Raptorial hosts that, have all those attacks, have extra movement, and then can either fight twice if they're Khorne. There's Slaanesh that can do stuff, but they have that extra consolidation, man. So you can literally blend. The Karmada talked about it a little bit before, but it's so much better now because you literally clear out all the screens and then just consolidate into their army. You're going to die next turn, but you give no shits. Your opponent doesn't move.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So they're completely fucked. Like I said, you and I are playing right now, and you stick me with a turn 2 goose egg, and you get a 15. Dude, that's hard to come back from.
Oh, no, that's very, very, very difficult to come back from. Even in the game I played day before yesterday, Sunday, just going up by 10 points in the primary is very difficult to come back from. You really need to take over the game towards the end to come back from it. And if you don't take over the game completely, if it's still a close game at the end, you pretty much lost, because it's just too much for the secondaries to really matter, because the secondaries are hard on both people or easy on both people depending on how you approached them. And for us, they were both hard. Like, both my list wasn't really prepared for the secondaries, nor was my opponent's. So both of us got, like, I think, half the points we could have. Instead of 36, I think we ended up, or whatever it is, it's 45. Instead of the 45 points, I think we had, like, each one of us had about 30-ish on the secondaries, just because they're tough. Some of them are tough if you don't build your list designed for them.
I just lost your volume, brother.
You lost my volume?
Nope, you're back.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Just for a second, you were just talking, and then it just was gone.
Oh, no. I think that was your dog. It was just really loud. You couldn't hear over it.
Yeah, I love those 3 goddamn dogs that are here. Love them. Can't get enough.
Oh, man, it's funny.
Oh, dude, yes. Warp Talons literally they were like, hey, what's in there? They're like, take a closer look.
Oh, they got nuked. They got absolutely nuked. Yeah, they got destroyed.
I'm not going to say that I've been pushing for Raptors. I'm just saying that you should have been looking at Raptors.
Yeah, no, Warp Talons are literally not playable. And in addition, where, like, Overwatch doesn't even matter. Does anyone care anymore? No. But yeah, Warp Talons are just not playable. I think they went up, like, double almost. I'm pretty sure they're like 17 points a model now. That's what I saw.
They have double lightning claws, dude.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, they're 17 points.
Expensive.
Then you pay for the war gear. Which is like
so nuts.
Which
like,
you would expect to go look at the war gear and you're like, oh, massive discount, but the lightning claws are still like 10 points per guy. In addition, so they're like 27 points a model.
They took the people's elbow, dude. Yeah, they definitely took the people's elbow.
Yeah, they got wrecked. They got absolutely wrecked. So, I mean, some things though you got to look at really closely. Like when I looked at Sisters, I saw that Exorcists went up like a ridiculous amount. Like it was crazy. But then if you look at the war gear, they actually didn't go up that much.
Yeah, they made a lot of times they made the gun go down to 0 and they up the model like a zillion.
Yeah, that's exactly what they did with them. They made one of the guns go to 0. It was 40. Now it's 0, and then they discounted the other gun by 40. So it was like basically like instead of at first it seems like the tank is double the cost, and then you realize, oh no, it's not. It's only 20 points more, which I think is too much for that tank. But whatever.
By the way, I do love that Cultists went up again. Just in case you were wondering if Cultists were terrible, you're like, hey, are Cultists bad? Oh, wait for it. They're even worse.
Yeah. No, Kurt, you're right. Penitent engines did go down. Yeah, they did the Penitent engines did go down, which is pretty cool. And Mortifiers also went down. You're right. Yeah, they both went down. So it's pretty cool.
Craft World points got stuffed in their buttholes like bad. Spears didn't go up that much, so I could actually see taking Outrider with 3 units of 5 spears or something else. But Craft World and Drukhari as a whole got just double fisted.
Yeah, orcs are not that bad. Orcs are not that bad. Just the traditional way you'd play orcs did get messed up in multiple ways. But in points, the shock attack gun is basically points crazy high now. And a lot of other things like Gretchen went up a little bit. They're 5 points now instead of 3, which is a big deal. Boys only went up by 1, so it's not like the end of the world for boys. I still think taking, even a 30-man unit of boys and jumping them is still a really viable strategy. We were talking about that earlier in the cast today.
1,000%, man.
And I think some of the other stuff that went up, I think you weren't really, if you were playing it, you were kind of a fanboy. Like I loved flash kits. I don't know too many people playing them other than me and Pamperine.
What was the deal? I played in one tournament and then they got exploded.
Yeah, the flash kits got destroyed. The Stampa is still not good. It actually went up in points because it wasn't expensive enough. But smash guns and mech guns didn't change too much. They're pretty good. I think orcs overall, from a point standpoint, didn't get hurt too much. But when you start putting them on the table in 9th and you realize how important all of the different orc factions were, the clans, when you're playing, you're like, wow, making a single clan for orcs is really tough. The army can only do like one thing now.
I think you're going to do 2.
You should do 2, but you lose so much CP doing it, though. That's the problem.
But if you do a patrol, you're only losing 2. So basically, you take your 2 units, like the army I was talking about. You would take the tank busters in a patrol of bad moons, and maybe a unit of whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The guys you want to shoot twice with, and then everybody else goes into the battalion.
And then, hey, Brad, I was going to ask you, actually, if you take a Supreme Command and a battalion, do you still get the discount of the battalion, or now, how does that work?
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
So
Okay.
basically what happens is your warlord for that battalion has to go into that Supreme Command. So basically you have a guy that has the special keyword, big dick, I'm the badass motherfucker trait.
Yeah.
I'm almost positive that's what it's called.
I'm assuming orcs will be able to do that for a war boss. I'm assuming. Maybe
That
not.
one I don't know. That one I don't know. But the dude basically goes into the Supreme Command. Supreme Command costs 0. You can only put the one guy in it, and then he makes the battalion or the brigade discounted, just like he was in there.
That's what I thought. Yeah, that's what I thought. So I'm thinking for orcs, maybe a Supreme Command with one dude. Hopefully it's a war boss. If not, it might have to be a named guy, which could suck. But if you could just like elevate a war boss, that would make sense in terms of fluff. And that Supreme Command so far has the symbol of HQ or Lord of War. So obviously Ghazghkull is the Lord of War. And then I think the HQ would be a war boss or a named character like Snickrot or what's his face? The
Captain Badrock.
Captain Badrock would be a good example. But I'm hoping you could just take a regular war boss and make him that. Just like for Space Marines, I'm hoping you can take like a captain or a chapter master and make him the same thing. That'd be cool. And then probably a patrol in addition to the battalion. I think you're right, Brad. I think that's the way to go.
So I like the thing is that I think that there's some legitimate bitches in a couple of the points things, but as a whole, I think people just have to make different style armies than they made before. You can't just tool up an army and be it the same that it's been all of 8th edition for ITC missions and stuff like that. You need to make a versatile army that can move, that can contest, and can actually do. You need a versatile, movable army. The days of just standing there are completely gone. Unless your army is able to do things, you're just going to lose, man. I don't care how badass your army you think it is, and it shoots 8 billion times or whatever. If you don't have movement, you're going to lose the game.
Yeah. So I think we're good for today, Chester. Anything you want to say on the way out?
Play by intent. Roll your dice in the open. 40K Jesus will make all your dreams come true.
All right, guys, if you guys haven't subscribed on YouTube, please do. If we get 100 subscribers on YouTube, we can actually make a real link and not the garbage you see on the top of the screen in your browser. So that'd be cool. That'd be cool. So, all right, take it easy, guys.